Okay, go ahead.
So I have, it's going to sound wrong when I first say it, but I have guilty pleasure TV viewing. And one of it is I'm fascinated by the Married at First Sight shows, which are utterly ridiculous, but
Married at first sight?
they literally throw two people together at the altar, and then it's a social experiment to see how it works out. Needless to say, it usually blows up. But a young
Geez, in
girl,
India it works out most of the time.
and that's what's funny. They keep
But
using that as, but they're.
They
Well,
have
the family pressure, though, isn't there?
And
No.
their society's more, I would
have
say,
more
cohesive
money
in a lot of
involved there.
ways. And ours, I mean, some of the people are not well balanced. It comes out later. They look good on paper,
what
but
the hell's that supposed to mean?
so yeah, they're just well, like one had to get a restraining order against her husband, and just
How long did that take?
it
Like
was
2
like
weeks?
yeah, it was a few months because I think what it is, they probably give them the incentive if you stay in it. You have to go through an actual divorce if you want a divorce. It's legal, like binding. So they probably, if you can make it through the show, you probably get X amount. If you can make it 6 months past that and make it to the anniversary show, you probably get another amount. And then it seems everything falls to hell after that because you'll see it on the news, right? Now, there have been a few that have been successful.
Okay, because here's the reality in my perspective. I mean, in India, it's very common to have an arranged marriage where the couple only meets like a week before, and oh yeah, they can say no, but they've got all their moms and grannies and everybody else who's arranged this marriage who say, oh, this is the man for you, right? And so there's a lot of social pressure to go ahead. And, honestly, the people that I know who had arranged marriages, they've done as well as love marriages. And they've learned to love one another. And, really, when you think about it, even love marriages are like that after the honeymoon period. You wake up from your honeymoon and you realize, oh, this guy snores, or whatever it is.
Or a guy I worked with who said, I married boobs and hair.
I married what?
Boobs and hair. He was going through a rough patch.
This is one of the shows.
No, this is the guy I worked with.
Oh, the guy who worked.
Well, I knew a happily married guy. He said the reason I married her was her looks. And they're perfectly happy.
Well, whatever works for you, right?
Well, very, very honestly, in 1968, when I was becoming a second lieutenant and on my way to Vietnam, I just wanted to have an experience with a woman. And the class of 1968 was the last class of the Victorian age, honestly. Because right after we graduated is when the sexual revolution occurred. And so I missed that. Okay, I was 1 year too early for that. And so,
It had already started in 66, 67.
well, it maybe started in 66, 67, but it hadn't gotten to this men's college that I was going to.
And I got to this boys' school I was going to.
It traveled up from the south.
Yeah.
Well, so,
No.
so...
These kids from all over the world. So.
So anyway, the woman I married looked like Judy Collins. She had long brown hair, and I was going to Vietnam, and that's good enough for me. That was good enough, really. I mean, okay, I liked her. I loved her. I still love her. Okay, even though I divorced her 32 years ago, but I still love her, and she's the mother of my 3 daughters. And so I have no reason not to love her. And so, but, we stayed together for 17 years, but no one ever explained the psychological aspects of this. I mean, even when we went to marriage counseling, they didn't do it properly, in my view.
They just took at them. They look at the mechanics. They don't look at anything at the soul level.
It was awful. And so, and at the time, okay, I was a lawyer, I was in the Marines, et cetera, so I was a very rational guy. And so, I said to this psychotherapist, so how does this come out? Or, how does this work? How does this come out? And the psychotherapist says, I don't know. And I said, what?
But we're paying you for what?
That's right. So we did 5 sessions of this, right? And, okay, I get the way they play the game. The psychologists play the game. But at the same time, it would have been nice to have a little guidance about, oh, yeah, well, you have to transform through these stages of your life, and you've transformed, you've gone through all these maturing processes, including going to Vietnam and all that stuff, and your wife still is expecting you to be her father, and so she has a little work to do. That would have been very helpful at the time, and would I have stayed with that wife if she had matured a little bit at that point? Definitely. I mean, the worst thing in my life was losing the growing up years of my daughters. Right? That's a tragedy.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that.
That's
why I stuck it out.
Yeah.
That was more important than anything.
And so, but all of us have to mature into a marriage, whether it's an arranged marriage in India or 6 weeks after your marriage, if it's a love marriage in the U.S. You wake up one day and you're lying in bed with a stranger, and then you have to learn who you married and how you're going to interact. And it'd be awfully helpful to have a psychologist or have some psychology background that would say, well, look, there's these opposites and you're going to see things differently, but also you're going to achieve your wholeness. I mean, that's the thing about the cup I gave you, which is a man wrong if he speaks in the desert and no woman can hear him? Well, of course he is, because he only brings one half of the picture, whatever it is. Okay, it may not be all masculine. Okay, he may have some feminine elements in there, but his wife may be mostly his opposite. And so you have to feel around and learn about the parts of yourself that you're missing. And that psychologist we went to never taught anything.
Yeah, they don't talk about withdrawing the projections. The importance of withdrawing the projections.
Yeah.
And I think there's some aesthetic in pursuing the projection, but then it's necessary to start withdrawing and start pulling it back, and that's when you learn. You try to reach that other person.
You fell in love with yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
You
that's
learned that
essentially-
you fell in love with yourself.
You fell in love with yourself.
Whoa.
So.
Hi, I'm Bill.
But that's
That's what your projection is.
That's
What Bill means is you fell in love with your own anima.
So that's where the transformation from the I, it, the object, to the I, thou is so important. And that could be a whole college course or line of study, because it's complicated.
At least one college course, maybe a year long. But I mean, don't you agree, Tess? Huh? Completely. Yeah.
Clarified.
So, Yeah.
So we know what we're talking about.
And I have the most experience.
Yeah.
This is my third one, so.
You know, in my case, my wife knows better than to create a honeydew list because she knows I won't do it.
Don't make waves or won't be.
Anyway, okay. Now help us.